What's up, everyone? It's Denise Salcedo. Welcome to my Smackdown post show. And I am getting started a little earlier because I was ready to go. And I was like, I'm not going to wait the extra few minutes just chilling here. So I'm going to get started and talk about Smackdown. First of all, thank you so much to each and every single person who is here watching my stream. We just finished watching 2 hours of a pretty interesting Smackdown. We're going to have quite a bit to talk about here today because overall, I thought that the first 30 minutes of Smackdown were pretty solid, and I have some questionable things, some things that I didn't like afterwards. So the last hour and a half, we have some things to discuss. So this is going to be a pretty fun stream, and I'm going to chat with you guys. So first, I came in here without the timer. So Matt Logan says I terrified him, but we're going to go ahead and get started, everyone. As you guys know, all of my streams are very, very interactive. So I hope that you guys go ahead and share your thoughts on what you thought about SmackDown, what you think about Elimination Chamber, especially the fact that we have essentially got all the names of who's going to be in the Elimination Chamber match. So we are going to go ahead and jump into that as well. But go ahead and send in your comments as we get through here. And if you haven't already, here are some plugs really quickly. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. I have been putting so many new videos up, and I hope that you guys have been enjoying them. I have a new BFF tag video with Sean Ross Sapp that I think you guys will enjoy. And then the video that I just uploaded today, my unboxing of the United Kingdom snacks that Luke Owen sent to me from Wrestle Talk. So I'm really excited about both of those videos. So if you guys haven't checked those out, please make sure to do those. So let's go ahead and jump into SmackDown. And yes, this is the Friday Night Wars is upon us. This is my first SmackDown post show by myself. So on this channel. So if it sucks, I'm really sorry to everybody. Just kidding. It is not going to suck in here. All right, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. So kicking off the show, and I said at the top of the stream that the first 30 minutes of SmackDown were my favorite. So the reason why I loved the first 30 minutes of SmackDown was because everything was so focused on the Elimination Chamber. Each and every single segment, all the matches, everything that was happening was dedicated to the Elimination Chamber. And I liked that. I liked that they had a point to the show. There wasn't just a bunch of randomness happening and nothing connecting whatsoever. No, everything made sense. They were in preparation for the Elimination Chamber. And we closed off that show as well. The show, the same thing also with the Elimination Chamber. So we're going to go ahead, and I guess I should address this too, because a couple people are asking here today, what happened to Sportskeeda? So Sportskeeda is still doing their own thing. I am no longer at Sportskeeda, guys, because I wanted to do my own show on my own channel. As you guys know, I've been putting out more content on here, and so I wanted to dedicate more of my time to doing shows on my own platform. So I hope that that's really the reason as to why I'm no longer at Sportskeeda. So now I will be doing SmackDown weekly shows here on my channel, which is pretty cool because I get to chat with you guys all one-on-one. So let's get started, guys, because the opening segment was Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Paul Heyman, and Adam Pearce. And Adam Pearce essentially wants Roman Reigns to sign this contract to defend the Universal Championship in the Elimination Chamber, just like Drew McIntyre is doing over on Monday Night Raw. But Roman Reigns basically says, I'm the son. Everything revolves around me. You do what I say. I don't do what you say. And after some back and forth between Roman and Pearce and Paul Heyman, it is decided that that whoever wins the Elimination Chamber will later then face Roman Reigns that night. So we have the first two names announced at the top of this, and it is Jey Uso and Kevin Owens. And to be honest, I know a lot of people were kind of upset, like, okay, why Jey Uso? And I get it, because there are people that should be in this instead of Jey Uso. But I really like the fact that they named Kevin Owens, because I already knew with Kevin Owens in this match that it was going to be exciting as hell. So I was looking forward to that. My favorite part, though, and I think this was probably everybody's favorite part from this segment, was when Paul Heyman was trying to get, Adam Pearce to back down, and he tells him, like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna fire Roman Reigns? Because you know that WrestleMania is coming up, and last year's WrestleMania, Roman Reigns wasn't in it, and it was the lowest attended WrestleMania. I popped for that, guys. That was so freaking funny. I thought that it was hilarious when Paul Heyman said that. So overall, I thought that this opening segment for SmackDown was really good. I liked everything that went down in this segment. So let's see what you guys are all saying here today. First of all, thank you so much to Chris Ludek, who sends in the first super chat of the evening. Thank you so much. These are very great. These are appreciated. Chris says, great point by Heyman about the WrestleMania attendance being so low without Roman on it last year. Dude, that was such a good line. And it is so Paul Heyman. And this is what I liked about this segment too, was the fact that Paul Heyman was really like that Hollywood agent. Like I can totally see, some big A-lister celebrity agents, trying to manipulate and come up with all of these little technicalities in order to like just benefit their client. So I liked how Paul Heyman just basically went off on a tangent about how no, his client can do this and his client can do that. And yes, he can appear at Elimination Chamber, but that doesn't mean he has to defend his title inside the Elimination Chamber. So the fact that he was trying to find all of these technicalities, I thought was pretty darn hilarious. So we have a comment from, we have a couple of comments here that I'm going to try to get to as many as I possibly can. We have one from Joseph who says, Roman has had the WWE Universal Championship for 6 months. I'm pretty confident at this point, unless something crazy happens at the Chamber, he will be the WWE Universal Champion at Mania. Oh, definitely. He has to be the champion at WrestleMania. I'm not planning on seeing Roman Reigns lose the championship anytime soon. Even after, obviously we don't know who his WrestleMania opponent is yet, but I expect him to be a long-term champion. Like, I really think that whoever dethrones or whoever gets a win over Roman Reigns has to be somebody that is a big deal. It has to feel important. I don't want it just to be like anybody. I don't mind them building a very strong champion in Roman Reigns. That is what I, as a viewer, would want to see. And we have a comment from Ray who says, that was quite a pipe bomb from Heyman. I love the opening segment. He always speaks his mind, and that's why he's so good on the mic. 100%, he's fantastic on the mic. I mean, we already know that, like, seriously. And Martin Carrillo says, where's Rhea Ripley? Literally, but I honestly don't mind where she goes. Opinion. So let's go ahead and talk about this really quick. I didn't see why we shouldn't talk about this. Rhea Ripley was the final two, obviously, in the Women's Royal Rumble with Bianca Belair. She was my pick to win the Royal Rumble because I didn't think they were going to pull the plug on Bianca Belair, although I am very happy that they did pull the plug with her. But I saw on social media that she was sort of teasing like, hey, where should I go, Raw or SmackDown? And we really haven't heard much since. So I don't know when we're going to hear anything. Personally, I know that SmackDown it's the A show. We all know that. You know that. I know that. It's no secret. That's where everything that's good is going down. So even though she would be an amazing fit on SmackDown, I really do think that Raw needs Rhea Ripley so much more. We've talked about the Raw women's division and how it's sort of been falling apart. So I do think that Rhea would make a lot more sense there. So that's my personal opinion on that. But we do have another super chat from Matthew Makovsky. Thank you so much, Matthew. He says, go Denise. These shows are going to be so much fun. Yes, if you've never been on my shows, they're very interactive. So it's a conversation between you and I. So it's really, really fun. Matt Reichel has a suggestion, says, Rhea should confront Charlotte after Mania. The match that ideally I would like to see at WrestleMania but I don't know how they're going to make their way over this direction anymore. I really have hope that it's going to happen anymore. I did want to see Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, with Charlotte essentially losing, with Rhea Ripley somehow becoming champion. So that would entail for Charlotte to actually be champion. So I don't see that as a possibility anymore, but a couple of months back, a couple of weeks back, that's what I seriously thought that they were going to go, and that's what I thought they were going to do. But now I kind of sort of lost hope, guys. So I don't really think that that's what's going to happen anymore. And so there you go with that. And all right, guys, so let's go ahead and continue on because we still have so much to talk about when it comes to SmackDown. We're literally in the opening segment still. Okay, so we get it. Elimination Chamber is happening. At this point, they only have, again, Jey Uso and Kevin Owens announced. So then, afterwards, it's been decided that the Rey Mysterio and Dominic match against King Corbin and Sami Zayn will become a qualifier match for the Elimination Chamber. And I thought, okay, cool. I like the idea, obviously, of doing the qualifying matches. That's 100% perfect. We already knew that they were going to go this direction when they only named the two people, and I love this. Except that when I saw it was Rey Mysterio and Dominic versus King Corbin and Sami Zayn, I was kind of like, only because I would love to see Rey Mysterio in the Elimination Chamber. And then I would love to see Sami Zayn in the Elimination Chamber, but we know that we're going to get either or depending on the team that wins. So for me, I don't know, it kind of felt like it was just random guys. I would have liked for different guys essentially to fill the spots of the Elimination Chamber. And that's exactly how I felt for the Raw Chamber as well. So anyways, Sami comes out and he says that this is all part of the big conspiracy against him. Basically, the gimmick that he's been doing that's been cracking us up. And my favorite part, guys, my favorite part of this was when Sami Zayn basically said that WWE wanted Dominic and Rey Mysterio to win this so that they can tap into the Latin American market. I popped so hard because that is such a conversation that we've been having as fans with the whole incorporation of Bad Bunny. Like, oh, they just want to tap into the Latin American demo. So I like that he sort of threw this in his actual promo. So that was pretty hilarious. Now, I do have some criticism in this match. So it's time for the criticism. I feel that when we first started getting introduced to Dominic and really started seeing him in the ring, I didn't think, obviously he was green, he was new, we all knew that, but I didn't think he was doing anything that was necessarily offensive or looked bad or anything like that. However, during this match, all I could focus on was the fact that Dominic didn't look that great in this match. I thought that he was doing a lot and he was moving really fast, but everything that he was doing looked really sloppy. None of it was crisp whatsoever. And I don't know what exactly went wrong. I think it might be the fact that he's not working with Seth Rollins or Murphy, who are two guys that were really protecting him and helping him look good in the ring. Or two, the fact that he necessarily hasn't been, aside from his matches from Baron Corbin, it's not like he's working with so many different types of people. So I felt that this was the match where I most noticed a lot of the flaws in Dominic, and I wasn't really crazy about that. It kind of took away from the match for me, even though this match was okay, I was mainly focused on Dominic. It distracted me way too much here. And yeah, we have a comment from Cyclops who says, did you notice how Dominic went head first into the table? Looks like he hurt himself. Yeah, he did a dive onto the outside, and I don't know if he overshot it or what happened, but his face literally just dove into the commentary table. And yeah, it did not look good whatsoever. That was not really good. Raven says, I haven't seen SmackDown yet. So don't worry, I'll kind of give you the highlights here so you'll know what to look out for, what to skip, what you should really watch, etc. And let's see what we have here. We have a comment from Joseph as well who says, Dominic isn't letting us fans observe what offense he is. It's starting to become clearer that Dominic is only a WWE superstar, so Ray can retire in the WWE and not go to AEW. Look, I do have hope for Dominic. I think, he has been training. I think that if he just continues to do his training but continues to work with different people, he is bound to get better. But it's just that tonight, it was really noticeable that it just wasn't clicking for me on this one. Mike says, I think Dominic may be missing having dark matches at house shows and stuff, just needs that experience. Yeah, 100%. I do think that he just really needs that experience for sure. All right, so that was really just that. In the end, we did see Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn win, so they are going to be in the Elimination Chamber. So at this point, the four names that we have are Jey, Kevin Owens, Baron Corbin, and Sami Zayn. So far, I mean, the only person at this point that I really care about in this match was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, just because I love them both. Also, thank you so much. Shout out to Raven Summers for sending in a super chat. Thank you so much for sending these in. Guys, you're awesome. Whenever you guys send in a super chat, it really, really helps me out. So thank you so much. And, we're going to get into Shinsuke Nakamura because I'm seeing plenty of comments here talking about Shinsuke. And yeah, I'm going to get into that because you know what? I might as well get into that now. Because after this, we did get Big E versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And this was the first thing that I wrote down on my notes is Shinsuke should be pissed off. He should be angry. He should be going to the back, talking to Sonya, talking to Adam Pearce, talking to somebody because the fact that he didn't even get a qualifying match, but instead we saw Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler get a qualifying match and he doesn't even get one. It's so weird. Like, why not? Like, I don't understand why Shinsuke Nakamura couldn't at least be in a qualifying match. He had this great showcase a couple of weeks back when he won the gauntlet, and he had this big moment. Everybody popped. Everybody was excited. He had the people behind him. The people were behind him. And nothing. There was no follow-up really after that. And he just went back down to the same spot where he's been at for like ever now. And this was pretty irritating because I knew that this was going to happen with Shinsuke. After him winning the gauntlet, and once I realized that they weren't going to do anything with him, I knew they weren't ever going to circle back to this. And the fact that he isn't in this Elimination Chamber tells me everything I need to know. I feel that because he didn't even get a qualifying match, isn't even included in the Elimination Chamber, it just confirms to me that he is officially slotted. The ship has sailed, and it's very unfortunate because I know that the viewers also wanted to see Shinsuke Nakamura in this match. When I tweeted out, okay, we have Jay in there and we have Kevin Owens in there. Who else do you guys want to see? Almost every single person that responded to me with the same names. Those names were Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, Daniel Bryan, and then I think like the other person, everybody else was like choosing different people, right? But for the most part, Shinsuke Nakamura was one of those people that was mentioned there. So this kind of bums me out, guys. Like it really does bum me out. But let's see what you guys are all saying here. Any thoughts on all of this? All right, we have quite a few comments here. And let me see which one should we get into here. All right, yeah, Zane says Nakamura not being in it sucks. So sad, really. Yeah, it sucks. It really, really does suck. Jake says, I watched Shinsuke's debut versus Sami from TakeOver yesterday. That match was so electric. Nakamura can be a huge star again with momentum. Dude, I was there. I was there for that. I remember the energy for that match. I felt it. It was so exciting. And it was just like he came in here with like this very, very hot momentum. And I just don't think we ever really got a payoff for that. And I think this was an opportunity for them to do something with them. And they had the moment, but it just didn't work out. It really didn't. And we have a comment from David who says, Shinsuke is probably going to challenge Roman in the foreseeable future, but they just don't know what to do with him in this meantime. I don't even think that, David. Honestly, the fact that he wasn't even included in the Elimination Chamber just really tells me that they're not planning on doing much with him. And obviously, I could be wrong. I'm not like, I'm not backstage. I'm not in these conversations. I could be wrong, but that's what we're seeing on TV tells me. And yes, I was at TakeOver in Dallas because I was there for a WrestleMania weekend that year. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and continue. I have a few more things that I wanted to say about the Big E versus Shinsuke Nakamura thing. We did have a Big E promo. He comes out and he basically talks about his match that he had last week with Sami and Apollo, which, by the way, was a phenomenal match. And he says he vows to be a fighting champion. Apollo Crews comes out. Apollo basically tries to beg him to get an opportunity to basically fight him again. But Big E tells him, like, no, bro, you're done. Like, I already gave you a chance. You lost. Go back to catering. I'm done with you. How did you guys feel about this? Did you feel... it made sense why Big E necessarily wouldn't want to waste his time again with Apollo Crews. But at the same time, I was kind of like, well, why not? Like, just shut him up. Have a match with him down the line, or at some point, shut him up and just do it. So, but yeah, then you go. Ozzy brings up a point here. He says, why is Apollo getting another match? Dude, that's one of the things. Cyclops says, Biggie was really angry and I loved when they put the mics down. Yeah, I did like that too. So I liked that because it felt more like a personal thing. Like, bro, I don't want to embarrass you in front of everybody. So I'm going to put the mic down and I'm going to tell you the truth to your face. And this is how it is. So I did like the incorporation of the fact that they didn't include the mic. So that was good. But thank you. Okay, this is what I wanted to say though. Thank you so much. All right, Mark says Biggie came off a bit heelish in his response. Tornstein S says Biggie is a bad guy. Question mark. Dude, I was thinking the exact same thing. I thought that Biggie came off heelish in this, and I was having a discussion with a friend about this, and my friend was like, nah, like, I don't think so. The response was good, but it's kind of like, to me, he came off a little bit heelish, so I was sort of torn apart in this because my reaction to, my thought process would be, hey, I'll shut him up and have a match with him just to shut him up one more time, but the fact that he was just like, no, it did come off a little bit heelish, which is obviously not what he is. And we have another super chat from Sexy Pheasant who says, I gotta disagree. Kevin Owens doesn't excite me. What? Continues to say, as a matter of fact, the men's elimination chamber is a mid-card palooza and Daniel Bryan. I think that, okay, so I'm gonna assume that the reason why you're not excited about Kevin Owens is because we've seen the Kevin Owens match, the Kevin Owens Roman Reigns match so many times, and I get you on that sense. But I'm a big fan of Kevin Owens, and I love all of the matches that they've been having, even though it feels repetitive. All of their matches have been very exciting, and I feel very different from one another. Another match with them. No. Okay, we need a break. We do need a break. And yes, I agree with you in terms of the Elimination Chamber. It doesn't feel like, aside from Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan, who do you actually really feel even has a shot? Like, legitimately, who do you actually think is going to win besides Kevin Owens or Daniel Bryan? You get what I mean? Like, they need to give us more in terms of, you know what? Oh my God, I really think this person has a chance, but it doesn't feel that way. Like, it's either going to be Kevin Owens or Daniel Bryan, and I'm 99.9% sure that it's going to be Daniel Bryan. So we'll see from there. But Sexy Peasant, thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, everybody's talking about the going back to catering comment. Yeah, that was such a burn, guys. It was such a burn. Oh, okay. Actually, there you go. Matthew McCoskey says he thinks Cesaro could win, and Manny says Cesaro could win it. I don't think so, guys. I mean, and then the fact that Cesaro got the win today, it almost makes me feel that maybe they gave him a win today because they ain't going to give him a win at Elimination Chamber. You get what I'm saying? I would be very surprised if they had Cesaro win this one. I mean, if he did, I think it'd be cool, but I would be very surprised. I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm not completely convinced on that one. So there you go. They end up having their match, Big E and Shinsuke Nakamura. This match could have had potential to be good, as you all know, because these are both impressive talents. However, it was cut short due to the fact that Apollo Crews essentially came out and got his revenge on Big E for essentially not allowing him this match. So he got his revenge on him. And this was really a nothing. I didn't like this entire segment. I was not a fan of this whatsoever. I don't feel like Apollo Crews is a hot enough opponent for Big E in his reign right now. I think that Big E needs a challenger that necessarily hasn't been, because they've never really given the people an opportunity to really take Apollo Crews seriously. Like, we're barely starting to get there, but I don't see it right now. I think that he could have a different opponent, I think, to just keep elevating him, growing him as a champion, really. So there you go. Then we have this next thing. Oh, I hated this next segment, guys. Oh, this was not good in my opinion. So this is the Seth Rollins return. So let's see how you guys all felt about it, because I think I might have totally different opinions here. So first of all, they had the entire locker room come out, which I thought, all right, did we really need to do that? After, in hindsight, seeing what they did, okay, it makes sense as to why they did it. But in the beginning, I didn't really think that the roster should have been out there. I didn't like it either, because they had Rey Mysterio and Dominic out there. Rey Mysterio he tried taking the guy's eye out. Okay, they were in an eye for an eye match. If you're in an eye for an eye match, I almost feel like you should never essentially be fans of each other. Like, bro, you wanted to take my eye out at some point. Just because you're a dad now does not change the fact that you wanted to take my eye out. It's so dumb, guys. But really, I just kind of thought that was a little bit dumb. And yeah, a couple of people are asking why Rey was there. It doesn't make sense. I also don't like seeing the champions out there. I don't like that. I think it kind of takes a little bit from them. They should be more secured, like treated more as like special. We're not going to have them go out with like the mid-carders and those people. Also, people that are possibly going to be challenging for the belt. I don't think that they should be out there either. I think they should have been more selective on who is actually out there, because if not, it just makes them look sort of dorky, Like, I didn't like that. So anyway, so there's that. And we do have several comments in terms of Binu, who says, totally agreed. The Rollins segment was nonsensical. I'm not even done with that, guys. I'm not even done with why it was nonsensical. So what I didn't like either. So he comes back, he has his burn it down thing, and I'm thinking, all right, cool. He's dropping the Messiah gimmick. The only reason I'm not that big of a fan of the Messiah gimmick, and I know a lot of people are, which is totally cool, but I'm not a fan of it just because I feel like I already saw everything that we could get out of it on Raw. When he was on Raw doing the Messiah gimmick, I feel like I already saw everything that he could do with the Messiah gimmick. So today, he didn't do anything new that I haven't seen before. That promo where he should be the leader and he should be the one guiding the roster, I already heard that like 5,000 times on Raw. So now I'm hearing it again, but on SmackDown. So that is why I was not a fan of this. And I love Seth Rollins. I love his matches. I think he's very exciting and has really good matches with people. But this, for me, if you're going to do the Messiah thing, you got to switch it up. You got to add something new. It can't be the exact same thing that I already know and that I already saw on Monday Night Raw, okay? If it didn't get me interested then, it's not going to get me interested now if they just switch it over to another brand. So Aaron has a funny comment who says, Denise, you need to embrace the greater good. Yeah, I keep saying this about Seth Rollins, and he's going to come at me for my eyeballs, man. And I will tell you this. Someone tries to come at me for my eyeballs, when they come and they do their return, I'm not going to be there applauding them, It just makes it whatever. All right, where am I getting at with this? So I didn't like this. He comes out, he does the same spiel that we've heard already again on Raw before, and then the roster's just like, ugh, this guy, and then they leave. The only person that doesn't leave is Cesaro, which essentially leads to them going at it afterwards, which is fine. This was good. I don't mind that. I didn't mind that portion of it, but it was just everything else around this entire segment that I personally did not care for. So yeah, and okay. Cyclops says, I'm surprised Roman didn't come out to tell Seth SmackDown was his show. And somebody on Twitter wrote to me basically saying that they were hoping to see Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns go at it. And obviously, I think that would be pretty awesome. I don't think people would hate that. I mean, if Seth Rollins came back and did the whole, like, I'm a babyface now because I'm a dad sort of thing, I think that could have carried a lot more than the return of the Messiah. So there you go. So let's continue on. All right. So after this, we had Bayley versus Liv Morgan. So I was happy to see Liv Morgan get a singles match here against Bayley. And even though I knew it wasn't going to happen, even though I knew that somehow, some way, Billie Kay was going to end up costing her the match because let's face it, we all knew that. But there was a little tiny piece of me that really wanted to see Liv Morgan get a win over Bayley. And I know that it wasn't going to happen. I know that it was far-fetched, but just a tiny bit of me wanted to see that. Either way, I thought that Liv Morgan, for what we got in this match, she looked good. I liked she did a really nice enziguri kick for a second. I thought that maybe, just maybe, that would have been the win. But once they actually had Billie Kay come out, I was like, all right, this is going the exact same direction in which I assumed it was going to go into. I think at this point, they got to start speeding this up because they just have Billie Kay coming out, costing the Riot Squad some victories. All right, what's next? Let's keep the ball rolling here. So I think that right now, this has kind of gotten a little stale and they need to do a little bit more. But I want to read this comment from Hushberger who says, Liv is gold, let her shine. She is one of the people that I feel is just so, everybody likes her. I can't imagine somebody not liking Liv Morgan. She's a very likable person and not a lot of people have that, you know? And so she has it. And I feel like they can do so much more with Liv Morgan. I mean, Liv Morgan's that person where I do feel that the ball has been dropped with her. I really, really do think so. And we have a comment from Martin who says, going back to the Seth Rollins return, says, they hyped his return for nothing. Nothing was done but just attacking Cesaro. Exactly. Nothing new. And yeah, the attack on Cesaro was fine. All of that was fine. But everything else, seen it, been there, done that. And Cyclops also says, Riot Squad needs to stop blaming Billie for their losses. Yeah, this one didn't really feel like it was Billie's fault. Like, she came out, but I don't really feel like she was specifically the reason as to why she lost. That's just how I felt there. Okay. And let's go ahead and move on. So after this, obviously, Bayley ended up getting the win, but I didn't even need to tell you guys that because I'm sure you already knew that based on this was pretty predictable. But let's talk about Street Profits versus Otis and Chad Gable. This was a pretty fun match. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed this match for what it was. So we had Angela Dawkins and Chad Gable kick off the match. And I like the fact that we got to see a lot of Gable's mat work in this match. That was good. He was highlighted really well in this match. And then afterwards, we got to see him work with Montez Ford. Oh, and I loved when Montez Ford and Gable were going at it because, oh man, we just got to see so much of Ford's athletic ability, and then Gable was trying to get him back down to the ground, but Montez Ford kept countering all of that. So I really liked both of them, their interactions together here. Like, seeing them work together was really fun. Once Otis got back into the ring, he threw out Montez Ford. He does the caterpillar on Dawkins, which was always funny to see. And then later on in the match, we do see Montez Ford do his frog splash and ends up pinning Gable. I mean, this was a fun match. I thought for what it was, I thought it was pretty fun. I liked it. And Rory, too, also has a comment on the Seth Rollins segment who says, the Rollins segment was pretty weird. Thank you. Thank you. And that's exactly how I feel. And Gianmarco says, it's hard to be a heel on SmackDown with Roman Reigns around there. In terms of, obviously, you can have multiple heels, yeah, but Roman Reigns is definitely doing the best work right now. You don't want to be like, yeah, you don't want to be number two. You don't want to be the number two best. And anybody who is a heel right now on SmackDown is going to be number two because obviously Roman Reigns is just outshining everybody on that right now. And Zane says, Chad Gable is just the greatest, underrated as hell, should be wrestling Zack Sabre Jr. Dude, for reals. Like I've said before, Olympians, they don't grow on trees. I'm just glad that he's not doing the Shorty Gable thing anymore. So I'm okay with what he's doing right now. I'm just happy he's no longer doing the Shorty Gable stuff because that was not good, okay? And let's see. I'm going to read the rest of your comments here. Oh, God, Ozzy, I just saw your comment. Oh, I'll get to that, guys. I will get to that. All right, let's get into the Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Nia Jax, Shayna. Oh, God, guys. All right, so this kicks off with Sasha Banks coming out. Sasha Banks comes out. She looks fabulous. Fabulous, guys. Like, I swear, every time I see Sasha Banks, I tell myself, Denise, you got to work out more, man. Look at Sasha Banks. That could be you. Anyways, but so she comes out and she says, everybody's talking about Bianca Belair's decision. She says she likes Bianca Belair, that she calls her a big little sister or a little big sister, something like that. And but then Bianca Belair quickly comes out right after that, and Bianca basically tells Sasha Banks, "You're not the boss of me. I like you too, but you're not the boss of me." So they sort of have this like frenemy relationship. So I mean, like every friendship between like every female ever. Just kidding, but they have this frenemy relationship, and I like it because they're both baby faces and they're both cool, and you want to cheer for both of them, but they're different. They're different people, but at the same time, they're sort of similar. So I like this because part of me is like, ooh, Sasha Banks said this. I'm really interested in it. And then afterwards, Bianca counters, and I'm like, ooh, I really like what Bianca says. So I'm feeling it, right? I'm in the zone here with Bianca and Sasha, and I'm thinking, oh, this is good. Like, I can't decide who I like most, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden, I hear a very, very familiar theme song, and I'm thinking, what show am I watching? Because I completely forgot about Nia and Shayna being tag team champions, and I completely forgot that they can go anywhere. So when I heard Nia Jax theme song, I thought, oh no. So I personally hated this. I was not a fan of it, but whatever. So Nia and Shayna come out. They basically say that they're the dominant ones, that people should be talking about them and all of this, right? But then Bianca and Sasha mock Nia Jax by showing the clip of when she basically says "my hole." And I know that everybody thought the "my hole" comment was funny, and I know everybody laughed and all of that, but I didn't think it was that funny last week. And I know that I'm in the minority here, but I didn't think it was that funny last week. So I definitely didn't think that it was that funny this week. Although I just didn't think it was funny. All right. I'm out on this one. I'm out of the loop. I'm not in with the cool kids that all thought this was funny. But anyways, they all end up brawling here. Nia sells the heck out of her hole. That's not a sentence I thought I would be saying here, but she was really working it. She was just like, doing that. But now it looks like they're probably going to have Sasha Banks and Bianca teaming up against Shayna and Nia. And I mean, I just don't want to see this for a very long time if they do this. I don't also want them to repeat the exact same storyline between that they already did with Sasha and Bayley. Like, we already saw them as a tag team that turned into, a rivalry. So I don't want to see them do the exact same thing if they're going to do that with Bianca and Sasha Banks. So I would like for them to switch it up and, really head start this feud between Bianca and Sasha differently than the Sasha Banks Bayley feud. So that's my thoughts on this. So what did you all think? I'm seeing a lot of comments pop in here. So go ahead. Also, if I missed any of your comments and you have a really great one and you're like, dang, Denise, you didn't read it, please feel free to send in a super chat. It really would be cool. But here we go. Let's see what you guys are all saying. Martin Carrillo says, did WWE at least trademark "my hole" for Nia Jax? God, imagine if they make that into a t-shirt. Oh my God. I don't know if they would, but I could totally see some people buying it just like for the hell of it. And so there you go. And we have a comment from Alex, who says, kind of sucks how we aren't getting a women's chamber match. From the looks of it, it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it right now. Zane says, where did you go? Oh, Zane says, Nia has a whole lot of nerve coming on SmackDown. I'm out. That was a pretty good one. I appreciate the play on words. Danny says, oh God, current state of Shayna. She went from being one of like the baddest women to then being a vampire for like a day, and now she's just like a shadow to Nia Jax. So that's all of that. Jake Larson says, we just got to get the Dusty Cup finished so they can take the tag titles from Nia and Shayna. God, and I really hope that it's Dakota and Raquel. I really hope that it's Dakota and Raquel. I want to see the women's tag team belts on NXT. Let them have it. Let them do their thing. There's so many incredible women down there. Let them do their thing down there, okay? And Brandon, thank you so much for the super chat. Brandon says, please, please, please make the winner of the Dusty Classic take those titles off of Nia and Shayna. Yeah. I hope your 3 pleases are enough to let it manifest and let it really, really happen. And Rory too says, my hole is going to be the new catchphrase for Nia during each promo. Oh, dude, this is going to be something that like everybody talks about. Like, you know, Titus O'Neil when he tripped and he fell, which was a fantastic moment. But you know how he's sort of like, when you think about him, that's obviously one of the things that you think of. I feel like that's going to happen with Nia Jax. Like, Nia Jax, you're going to think my hole. Although I just think that, obviously, the Titus O'Neil thing was, like, really freaking hilarious. Like, so hilarious. So, yeah, we have a few more people saying that they're surprised that they haven't made that into a shirt. God, I hope not. I really, really hope not. John Shavak says, Nia and Shayna were only out there for WWE to do the my whole thing again, which officially has made it not funny. Yeah, if you try to replicate something, you know that doesn't work. It's kind of like asking people to make a meme out of something, but trying to force them. You can't force somebody to make something funny. Things that are funny happen naturally. You got to let it take its course. Matthew, thank you so much for another super chat. Matthew says, hole in a cell. No holes barred. Hole on a pole. Jesus Christ, what have we done? What has WWE done? What has Nia Jax done with this whole thing? God. Danny says they're going to bring up Nia's hole for now on. Oh no, we're never going to stop hearing about Nia's hole. The only hole I want to hear about is a donut hole, but that's just my opinion. All right, guys, let's move on from this whole talk. All right, there's no way to segue out of this. There really is no way to segue out of this. After this, we had the main event between, I can't even talk anymore, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode versus Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. And, okay, I don't think there's anybody here, and if there is somebody here, please let me know, because I don't think there was anybody here who really thought that Cesaro and Daniel Bryan weren't going to win this match. I think we all knew that they were going to win this match. So for me, it kind of took me out of this main event because I thought, all right, Cesaro and Daniel Bryan are going to win. We all know it's not going to be Roode and Ziggler. Like, let's be real. It's not going to be them. However, I will say that this was a very, very fun match. I liked this main event, but it was very predictable. I at least wanted a little bit of what if, throw it in there. But this match was perfectly fine. We're still getting all the whole comments, but go on, have fun at the whole comments. After this match, during this match, we did have Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn, who obviously are already part of the Elimination Chamber, watching on. But in the end, we did have Cesaro and Daniel Bryan win, as we already knew. Cesaro got the sharpshooter on Dolph, and Dolph ended up tapping out. And again, this was a fun match. And that's why I think that, even though I feel you people think that Cesaro might be winning this Elimination Chamber, I don't think so. I really do think that it's going to be Daniel Bryan. Like, I feel pretty positive about it. So after this, Jey Uso comes from behind. Then we have Kevin Owens comes out. Kevin Owens basically stuns each and every single person in the ring, and then he goes to the camera. Oh, so before he goes to the camera, you have they cut to a shot of Roman Reigns watching, so he's seeing everything that's going down, which was a pretty good touch. And then afterward, Kevin Owens addresses him, grabs the camera, and basically says, like, I'm not done, blah, 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 blah. He's not done, and that he's not going away, and that was the end of SmackDown. So all of this, I thought, for the most part, was okay. I mean, I think they could have made some changes, but for the most part, the Elimination Chamber feels pretty predictable. I really do think that it's going to be Daniel Bryan that wins. But that's pretty much that, guys. Go ahead and send in your comments. I'm going to go ahead and finish reading off your last and final comments. Before I get to that, I do want to remind you guys all that I am going to be back streaming here Sunday night, immediately following NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. I was almost going to say NXT TakeOver Valentine's Day, but it's on Valentine's Day. So NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, I will be here streaming exactly how I am today, but obviously about NXT TakeOver. So it's going to be really fun. Make sure to join me. Also, if you haven't already, please go check out that snacks video of me unboxing all of the snacks that Luke Owens sent me. It is a really fun video, and I went all out with my fancy editing skills. And then same with the BFF tag video that I did with Sean Ross Sapp. Check that one out too. Everybody loved that video, so I hope you guys will check it out if you haven't already. And there's also a bunch of other stuff that you guys can check out on my channel, so please make sure to subscribe and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to read some more comments on what you guys thought. So I'm going to read what you guys are saying. Let's see. And Ozzy says KO stole the show at the end. See, he did, but Kevin Owens is always going to do that because he has this like spectacular energy, and I think that no matter what, he's going to get you invested in what he's doing. But I know that there's a few people that are like, all right, like Mark, who says getting tired of Owens personally. Yeah, because they've been doing this for a while now. We know that. And that's what I do think that the right call for this one would be Daniel Bryan. Freaks of Wrestling podcast says, I think Kevin Owens is winning the chamber match. Okay, so quite a few guys are more. I feel like a few of you probably think that Kevin Owens is going to win more than Daniel Bryan. Interesting. All right. And Ray Santiago says, I was getting Austin flashbacks with all those stunners. I love how persistent KO is at going after Roman Reigns. There is no quit in him. Dude, see, that's why, like, I don't, even though it would be too much to have another Roman Reigns Kevin Owens match so soon, I know that at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily completely hate it just because they do put on fantastic matches. But again, people are going to get burned out. We're already complaining at how many times we have to see so many matches over and over again, especially on Raw. So we don't want to get that, on every single pay-per-view and all of that. And we do have a comment from Jake Larson who says, we get 3 Denise solo shows in a week, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Yeah, for this week, yes. For this week, we will. For a second, you had me confused. I was like, what's my 3rd solo show? You scared me, man. For a second, I thought, what did I miss? Do I not know my own schedule? And John Shavak says, it's awesome how much of a star they are making Owens out to be. He's the 2nd biggest star on the show behind Roman Reigns. He's exciting as hell. You can't help it. Everything he does, and he goes all out. Like, look at the match that he had at the Royal Rumble. Like, come on, the golf cart spot, the forklift, the swanton from the top of the forklift, throwing himself, getting thrown off of the stage area. I mean, they did so much. We got to put some respect to Kevin Owens' name because he goes out there and he just goes crazy, man. Crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much that, guys. All right. And last comment I'm going to go ahead and read. And this one was from Zane Miller, who says Vengeance Day is going to be good. Dunn may not be the most charismatic in the ring, but is amazing. Yeah, we already know the match is going to be really, really good. Alrighty, guys, there you go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to show number 1 here on my channel, the SmackDown post show, the first one here on my channel. This is officially the start of the Friday Night Wars. I'm feuding against Fightful, so do not go over to Fightful. You come to me. Do not go to the Sap Kid. I'm tired of the Sap Kid being number 1. Just kidding. The Sap Kid's my BFF. Check out the BFF video. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you Sunday. Please do not forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on Twitter or on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. Have a very happy Friday, everyone, and I will see you again this Sunday. Bye, everyone. Take